we all want to hit it farther. Raise your hand. Yeah, I'm in the line too. We're all searching for distance, particularly as some of us are getting a little bit older. And you've heard a lot of different ways to create speed, pushing off the ground, ground forces, all that stuff. And it is all true. But there's one simple thing that you can do to generate more clubhead speed, and I want to talk to you about it now. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you're telling your friends about what we've got going on here. We're trying to help everybody play a little bit farther. We're trying to help everybody hit it a little bit farther. So, speed, distance, it comes from a number of different things, and there are a number of things that you can think about and do, but one of the most powerful moves is taking the trail hip, so my right hip, and getting that to rotate through the strike and really get a feeling that this hip is moving up towards the target. And so a simple idea and a drill that you can really use, you don't have to be out on the range to do this. You spend a couple of dollars on a swim noodle. Hold it across your waist like this. And then only thinking about the trail hip, feel the trail hip rotate through up here. Now, when I'm all done, I feel like my trail hip is up over my lead foot. It might not be, but that's what I'm feeling. And when it gets to my lead foot, it's going to go through the strike point, the golf ball, because the golf ball, depending upon the club that you're hitting, is always going to be in between your feet. Maybe in the middle of your stance, maybe in the forward part of the stance, but it's inside of that lead foot. So when I take my trail hip, and I rotate it up this way where it feels like it's over that foot, I'm now through the strike point. So what I like to feel is the motion first, and then I want speed with it. Then what I want you to do is, and I'm doing this with a 6-iron, okay? What I like to do is just a little drill here where you kind of take this back. I'm not worried about the strike at this point. You're just getting going with this, okay? All you're going to do is just get it to here and then feel like your hip is dragging the club head. Just like the swim noodle. The hip is dragging the club head. So we go here. And one of the things that you'll start to feel as you get used to this is your hip is actually starting to the target side in the downswing before the club is finished in the backswing. So we go. Now all I'm doing is just getting comfortable with that. And then after that, I'm going to lengthen the swing, but I don't want to lengthen or add any speed just yet. So we're going to go here. And what you're going to feel is your trail hip has moved through almost before the strike happens. It doesn't happen that way, but it's almost before the strike happens. So here. It won't be that way. It just feels that way. And you'll feel your arms and your hands, they're in sort of a toad pattern. And what I mean by that is they're being pulled. And they're being pulled from this right here. So we get up here like this. I'm not thinking about sliding my hips, too. That's another thing people go, well, you got to feel like you're sliding. You don't have to feel like you're sliding. What you got to feel like is that this is the door and it's going to close. The door's going to close right here. So the handle of the door is on your hip and it's just going boom. I'm not thinking about getting my left side out of the way. I'm thinking about moving my right side. I'm thinking about moving this right hip. That's the only one. My pocket, boom, just like that. Now we're going to go a little bit longer and a little bit faster. And there's a real dragging motion that I'm feeling out of the golf club at this point. And it's a very delayed hit. In other words, I feel like I'm hitting the ball later than when I would normally hit it because my arms feel like they're back here off of my trail side, which is a wild feeling. I almost feel like Jim Furyk looks in my mind. So that ball speed there was 111. Clubhead speed was 79. Now we're going to start trying to generate a little bit more speed here. So that one there, not my fastest yet, but the club head speed went up. That went up to 81 miles an hour. You can see that over there on the right-hand side of the screen. That jumped up to 81 miles an hour. Now I'm going to start working even harder. And one of the things that will happen to you when you're doing this is you're going to get this feeling that you're standing tall. I don't want you to feel like you're standing tall. I want you to feel bent over with that side bend. I really want that side bend. That's going to help you with your impact. But if early on you're getting the sense that in rotation through that you're a little bit taller, that's okay. Don't run away from that. Just know that in time, you may hit it thin, but in time, what you want is you want to make sure you keep that side bend, okay? All right, now we're going to start to try to really ramp this thing up. So here we go. Okay, that was a lot faster and a lot cleaner strike. So now the club head speed on that one was 84 miles an hour, and the ball speed was 119. Really good. Now we're going to start to put some more speed in this. And what you'll do instinctively when you do this is you'll add a little bit of width to your stance. Again, another thing that I'm totally comfortable with. So now we go in here, rotate back, and then really feel like this hip, my right hand, my right hip is really springing forward. And it's almost moving like it's moving in a straight line to the target, just like that, with a ton of pace, a ton of speed. I'm not rushing the speed from the start of the backswing. All I'm doing is when I get set up here, now it's just going boom and hitting that. That door closes. I can almost hear the noise of the door slamming. Here we go. Okay, so that one there was definitely my best. So come on up here now, and let's take a peek at what happened here. As you start to examine all this, the one thing you want to look at is speed of this. The speed of the golf ball will be in the speed of the club head. And you can have a fast speed of the club head, miss the strike, and ball speed will be down a little bit. It's still higher than it ever was. So that one there, the club head speed got to 88 miles an hour with a 6-iron. Right? So 6-iron, ball speed now 124. Can I get any faster? And this is something that you've got to do. When you're working on creating speed, this is literally like you're lifting weights. You want to try to stretch it as far as you possibly can. Establish goals for yourself. Hey, my record is 87.5. I got to get this to 88 or 90 miles an hour with that club head. The ball speed will eventually come up when you hit it in the center of the club face and you get that side bend that I was talking about earlier, okay? So now, same thing. That hip is really going to move. I'm going to really move it hard this time. I missed the strike on that one. And there you go. That's a perfect example. So come on up to the front again, Gibbsy. And what you can see is I moved the club head pretty fast, 87.6. It's exactly what I did the last time. But I got the strike a little bit thin. So now all of a sudden the ball speed went down about 4 miles an hour. So that means I need some repetition, but you keep going. I got to get this thing. My goal is to get this club head speed up to 88 or 89 miles an hour. If I get to 90, we're going to have a party here, okay? I promise you. We have everything we need. Candles, all kinds of different things. Okay, here we go. Really feeling that hip move forward with some speed. Boy, I could feel that hip moving much faster through that strike. I got a much better strike on the ball, still 86.9. So I'm getting incrementally. Now I'm sort of at the end of the line here. And this is where your repetition of doing this one move, having this one thought, all of a sudden becomes a huge benefit for you. All right, last one for me. Come on. 88. Really feeling that trail hip moving through here. Okay. Now, I didn't get the number I wanted. I was looking for I was looking for 88. I got 87.3, but a whole lot faster than I have been getting. And as you continue the pursuit, and again, ball speed was good, 124, distance is really good, apex is good, like all of it's really good. And it's faster. 6-iron for me, I play at 175, maybe 180. This one here is 187, 190. So I've gained some speed with that thought. But what I need to do is I need to spend more time thinking about it, more time working on it, developing the skill, maybe the strength, maybe the flexibility. What you need to do is you need to understand the consistency of thought to get the consistency of the motion and the speed of the club, and eventually you get the strike. But right now, if I can play at 87 and 124, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. What I want you to be doing is get out there and work on this for your speed. Get yourself the swim noodle. Work on that thing. Feel that. If you don't have the swim noodle, you can use a golf club. Feel the same thing here. You're not necessarily going to be able to move this as fast as you can with a swim noodle, but you'll get the feeling of that trail hip really rotating through and carrying the golf club and leading the upper body. So many times people talk about sequence in a golf swing. Sequence is lower body leading the upper body, leading the arms, leading the hands. You have to have that same mentality. And the way you're going to do it is focus on the trail hip, get that to rotate forward, and you start to do that in the rotational thing, then you pick up the speed of that. All of a sudden, you're going to gain a lot of distance. You don't have to think about, are you jumping off the ground, all those other things that are all going to kind of happen. All you got to do is think about your trail hip and getting that to move forward and faster, and you're going to gain that speed that you're looking for. To improve all parts of your game, subscribe to my channel and click the link below.